we're obviously going to talk about the Canucks, but there's like, again, similar to the NBA, there's a lot of projected moves here. Who's moving up, down, trading, pick away, right? Cap, obviously, is not moving up much, reportedly. So, the draft, by the way, is on Wednesday. So, we'll be, Wednesday's episode for us, by the way, just a heads up, will be big because we'll be recapping round one.
Yeah,
and we also have to talk about the free agency, which is a couple of days after for NBA and NHL. But, obviously, he has Connor Bedard number one. Surprise, surprise. You know, he's literally him and Wembanyama were like locks from the minute they were featured.
Yeah.
Adam Fantilli 2. I feel like that's a lock. Leo Carlson 3 feels like a lock, right? The question here now is what's gonna happen with Matvei Michkov, and he has him 4 button.
Yeah.
And the reason with Michkov is he's under contract with the KHL for another like 3-4 years. And then obviously we don't know what's happening with the geopolitical stuff. Again, not getting into that, but the big factor here is the contract.
Yeah, like
is he going to get released? Whatever the case is a risk there. But he says number 4 will still go to Michkov because Michkov once upon a time was the second best player at a young age, talent-wise, after Bedard.
Yeah.
Will Smith, not the actor, from USA Development, is 5th.
There's also like they're big on him as well.
Yeah, so look, those 5 are like the big ones. Then you got like Matthew Wood. I think he's a local guy from UConn. UConn, I mean University of Connecticut, not the territory. Is there? Now here's where it gets crazy. Like Ryan Leonard, USA again. David Reinbacher, the first defenseman off the board.
Yeah, that's
Axel Sandin Pellikka at 10. Kobe Barlow at 9. Canucks take, in this case, Tom Willander, another right shot demon. Zach Benson falling from the projected 5th, 6th because of his supposed size. A local boy. Oiler fan, but local boy. And then, I don't know too much. Samuel Honzek is a guy I look at because he's a giant, and he propelled in the draft class as well.
Yeah.
So, where do you want to start? Do you want to go Canucks? Do you want to go anything? Well, we don't know these prospects too much, but I do have a question in general.
All right, let's go Canucks first.
Okay, so Canucks, here's my question for you. Do you draft for fit or do you draft for talent? Because obviously, I don't want another winger. Personally, I don't want another winger.
Yeah, right. It's
but
hard.
The question is debate. Because we have that thing with Ulevi. Right? We passed on Kachuk and all these guys after Kachuk for Ulevi. And look what that happened.
Ulevi was fit. For me, I mean, you have right wingers, but the issue is you need left wingers. So that's why wingers.
I think priority is center and defense.
Obviously, center and defense. And then for me, personally, I would go defense because this top 10 looks like it's going to be a forward heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, realistically, Reinbacher might be the only top 10 defenseman picked.
But here's the thing. How scarce is the right D position?
There's 3 in this draft.
No, I'm saying in general. No. In general.
Oh, in general, yeah.
In general around the league. Because we traded a first away that we got from the Bo Horvat trade for Filip Hronek.
Yeah. First and a second.
Tyler Myers got a massive contract.
Yeah. Eric Branson
got a 4x4 this year.
Yeah.
Right? And he was a 3rd overall pick in his draft. For me, it's like it has to be. You have to weigh out your odds. Like, how good do you think that guy is? Did Benning take Ulevi for the sake of taking a defenseman, and he was supposed to go down low? I don't know how the mock drafts were back then.
I think it was.
Right? Because clearly you got Kachuk. Look at him now. Like, he's arguably a top 5 player in the league now. Right? Yeah. And you have other names in that draft class as well. This case, is it going to be a Quinn Hughes situation? But the difference is this: the Quinn Hughes draft was defense heavy.
Yeah.
More so, right?
Because there was like.
Rasmus Dahlin was the first overall pick.
And
you had like Noah Dobson, Evan Bouchard, and Adam Boquist. Yeah. Right? And then Quinn Hughes, obviously. In this case, it's the opposite. The first guy is supposed to be Reinbacher, who I would prefer.
Bro,
for me, if I'm the Canucks, Axel Sandin Pellikka is a right-handed version of Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, so like,
you could take the talent.
He is 5'11", 170. Quinn Hughes is 5'10", 180. They're the same size. Yeah. Obviously,
the problem is the power play specialist.
Right. Axel Sandin Pellikka, there's Tom Willander, and there's David Reinbacher. They're all three.
There's a Russian guy, I believe, who's a left shot D.
Okay, yeah.
That's obviously.
But obviously, we would prefer right shot.
But obviously, if a left shot D's hired, in your opinion, you take that guy.
Yeah, you take him, obviously. But looking at, because for me, this draft, I want free agent to focus on getting a partner for Filip Hronek, like or addition or trade.
Whoever we pick, keep in mind.
Yeah.
Realistically, Bedard is the only one playing, and maybe Fantilli.
Yeah, right.
In the NHL next year, because they're going to Chicago, who's gonna suck, and they're gonna go to Anaheim, who's already young and probably gonna suck.
Yeah. So that's why I'm looking for this guy to be the Quinn Hughes partner, and really hopefully be the the top pairing that this
For the
franchise
future.
needs for the future.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, if you're gonna like trade for someone or like free agent,
If that's the case,
get a guy with
then
Philip
it's
Verona.
Willander or Reinbacher.
Yeah, for me personally, is obviously if Reinbacher's there, you take him. There's no, he is the best
How much
defenseman
research
in
have you
draft.
done on this draft, by the way?
I've going through, bro. I'll tell you, I didn't pay attention to that class year. I was going through mock
Okay,
drafts
so
after
I'll be
mock
honest
draft.
with you. Obviously, NBA not so
Obviously,
much.
I was more focused on the defenseman because a lot of it's like
I wanna
I
see-
said, top 10 was
There's
like
also
forward
centers like
heavy.
Dalibor Dvorsky, who Will
Yeah.
Smith and all these guys. If they fall, they might fall, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the question is, if Mitchkov falls, do you bet on that talent?
I mean, you might. I think you just take him,
Zach
right?
Benson is another guy who fell, and he's a
It's
winger.
tough, right? Like I was just focusing on defenseman because realistically, obviously, it's a need for us, and
We have a potential guy there.
there's a forward heavy top 10.
The problem is, what if everybody's draft board is different, right? Like Craig Button said himself, this is what he thinks is gonna happen, and he's projecting. But Jim Rutherford will have a clearly different board, right? You see with the Colts, for example, look how many times they traded down because their board is completely different.
Because they have like 8 guys.
They have completely different board.
Like with their second round pick, they had like 8 guys. That's why they traded back.
Yeah. So in this case, what I'm saying
I
is,
feel like they might have like they have a list.
I
bro.
just don't want another winger. But the problem is,
You might just
you don't
have
want
to
to.
take
You don't
it.
want to Kachuk thing all over.
Yeah,
again.
you might just have to
You
take
could
one.
try to package
And-
other pieces, or you trade him down the line.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
realistically, like they do need left wingers, right? They have more right wingers. They drafted like I think Klimovich is right winger, Lekromaki's a right winger, right? So if you are gonna get a winger, like there's a little bit of a need for left winger, but obviously center and defenseman is
There's number
the big
one
one.
need.
Yeah, like I agree with you. Okay, Willander, Sandin, yes, maybe better offensively, right? But the thing with Reinbacher is good at both. Willander is still decent, like with the skills. But the fact that Reinbacher is the perfect fit for us, but I doubt he's gonna fall to us because he's 6'2", 194.
Who knows? It depends on how the draft falls, right? The draft begins at 4, in my opinion. 3,
Yeah,
maybe. I think Fantilli's a lock at 2.
Yeah, I think top 2 are locked for sure.
Right?
And I
Leo
think
Carlson, I feel like is a lock, but then you
Yeah.
don't know about Mitchkov and what happens with it.
yeah. So that's why like Reinbacher being 6'2", 194, with a guy like I said, Quinn Hughes is 5'10", 180. He's small.
Yeah.
So I would prefer a big guy with him who could
Exactly.
move the puck,
But
right?
here's the thing: Quinn Hughes also did so well after Chris Tanev left with Luke Shen and Noah Juleson. Quinn Hughes has the capability of carrying his own pair, which is what I heard a lot. Philip Hronek on the other side, like you said, focus on the left shot D for that free agency. But if that guy, I think what's his name, Chris Faber, you should listen to him if you can.
Yeah.
He knows these prospects in and out that are in the Canucks farm system and the upcoming draft.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be something for sure. And yeah, I think we need to go defenseman personally if they are projected to be what they're projected to be.
Okay, here's what I'm saying. Like obviously, like hypothetical situation. If there's like a good forward that falls to us and Reinbacher falls to us, I'm going Reinbacher 100%. Right?
It depends on the forward.
Huh?
It depends on the forward too.
I mean, but really,
Like if that Will Smith, if he falls,
yeah, okay, it's tough.
the
But
Canucks
I'm
are
going.
considering trying to trade up for some reason. So I don't know if that's for Reinbacher
Yeah.
or for a Will Smith because we need a center,
Yeah.
right? Or Zach Benson maybe falling. They could
Yeah,
try
but
to
then
go
if that forward, whoever that forward is, whether it be Mitchkov or Will Smith or whoever it is, right?
yeah.
And it's between them and like Willander and Sandin Pelika. Obviously, I'm going with a forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's obviously.
Did you watch tape on any of these guys or no?
No, I can't break down hockey.
You're
dude.
just
Like,
listening to the experts at this case, right?
yeah, no, but I'm also like looking at it.
Yeah.
Man, like because like fit wise, I want to use this pick to get that top D with Hughes, right?
Yeah.
Like I would really want to get
Obviously,
like,
it depends on how he develops.
yeah, depend on how he develops, right? I want like this pick could really help us in the future wise. And I believe this management team could do because they're showing improvements for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying like for me, Reinbacher, I just really love like how
Big he is. And like
big and
he's
like he's like he can move the puck, right? And he's good skills, puck skills and stuff. So
That's what they're saying about Willander. And rumors.
Willander is that?
They said that Willander. They took him out to dinner at the combine.
Yeah.
That was one of the few names. I think Matthew Wood was maybe one. And I forgot the other. It was another winger, I believe. They took out to dinner. So I don't know how much of a factor that is.
I
in
think
draft decisions.
I think they just can go best player available. That's what I project
That's
them
what they
to
did
go.
last year. The Karamaki.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna go best player available.
Yeah, so, and if that's a winger, it sucks. But
I
we
think
haven't drafted a first round pick since Quinn Hughes in the first round, and before that was like Jet Wu in the second round.
like a defenseman.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the first like 2 rounds. Like, Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, was a like third round pick, and then center was Elias Pettersson.
Yeah.
Right, I think, or if a center falls, you take a center, or if a defenseman falls, you take a defenseman. That
But
you
who would you take if a center and a defenseman fall? Who would you take?
defenseman.
Yeah, I would go with
I would go
defenseman
to
too.
defenseman, but again, this is where it's so tricky. With do you draft for need or do you draft best player available? I'm a best player available because you could always trade pieces away,
Yeah, right.
and you're putting them in. The
And
rookie
then
contract.
obviously like this draft is obviously deep,
Yeah,
right? Like the fact that Ryan Backer might not even be a top 5 pick
yeah.
is weird
He
to
wasn't
see
even supposed
because
to be like. I think the early like we're around the World Juniors time.
Yeah.
I think like it was all forwards for like till like the 15th pick even.
yeah, like it's weird
like-
because it's weird to
Because it's
see.
more forward heavy.
It's weird to see a right shot defenseman like now, especially now.
Yeah, I
be
haven't seen a right
falling.
shot of like other than like that Hughes draft, is where like I've seen many right shot defensemen going up because a lot of people reach for these guys.
Yeah,
That's why Ryan Walker's projected to go higher up and Willander because there's you have to pay so much for them, whether it be by trade and then you have to give him a contract, right? So
yeah.
but yeah,
But like obviously like Canucks are like realistically are in the Nate Danielson who's a center, Tom Willander, Sandin Pelika,
Zach Benson.
Zach Benson, Kobe Barlow. They're in that range.
Yeah, that's another good thing they took out.
Yeah.
was Kobe Barlow. He's supposed to be really good as well. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm intrigued because I feel like this one's like not as fixed as the NBA one, especially with the whole Mitchkov situation, right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
And hopefully I get to catch it. But I want to talk about one team, a Canadian team. That's not the Canucks. The Calgary Flames.
They're in like turmoil.
They're in huge turmoil, which is why I'm talking about draft picks here for that 11th pick. The Canucks might trade away. Who knows? Noah Hannafin is a name that is brought up.
Noah Hannafin, Elias Lindholm.
But in terms of the defense purposes,
or
Noah
defenseman,
Hannafin.
yeah.
Would you trade the 11th pick for Noah Hannafin? And you have to pay him a contract, by the way.
No, I want to.
He could be the Philip.
I want to trade. I'm not trading another first round pick.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right, I can't.
Yeah, we need a pipeline of something.
We need to develop a prospect pool.
Okay, so go back to Calgary. They're going to be an intriguing team. Noah Hannafin, like I mentioned. You just mentioned Elias Lindholm. According to Frank Cervelli, probably not going to resign. Mikhail Backlund, who has been there for a while. Mikhail Backlund. And Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's
They're
in a
rumored not to come
situation.
back. I don't know if they just want to get out of Calgary, the city itself. They're just like tired of dealing with the whole, even though Sutter's no longer there, that situation. And then, what the hell are Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, and Kadri thinking for signing long-term deals there? Because also Chris Tanev hasn't said anything yet, but he also could leave as well.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like the same as Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, that's another intriguing deal.
They want people.
PLD might be go, Scheifele, Wheeler.
Yeah, like they want the people
Hellebuck.
want out.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much is that city or how much is it like management or coaching.
City's a big factor.
Yeah.
But because you don't see guys like people giving money for in Vancouver and people are staying here. For example, JT Miller. So
Yeah. I don't know. Calgary. I don't think Calgary. I think Calgary are like the Canucks and like the Raptors. They don't want to like rebuild. Like they never.
I mean, they gave
were-
massive contracts to.
Yeah, right. Like
Older
when you thought
players.
Goudreau and Kachuk were gone, we're like, okay,
They're
Calgary's
rebuilding.
finished.
No, they bring in pieces
Yeah.
and then you give them contracts. It would have been a different story if Huberdeau was
I
available.
I believed that they were gonna flip Huberdeau.
They didn't.
They didn't. So like, or they should have flipped Huberdeau, right?
Yeah.
So Calgary's like a team that they don't want to rebuild
Yeah.
type thing. So we don't know if like they might not even trade for picks like Lindholm and like Hannafin. They might just trade for like players who are already under contract.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about them leaving.
Yeah. Can't wait for Wednesday.
There's
Obviously.
this I don't know who I was listening to when I was coming back from class, and you know how like they have like the Sportsnet 650 have like radio messages in,
Yeah.
and a guy messaged in JT Miller for Elias Lindholm. I think it was Canucks TV with like Satyar Shah and like Riccio,
Yeah.
and then they're like I mean, it's decent. They're like he's like he'll be fine, but then the issue is that his contract will be just so much bigger,
Yeah.
and he's only 1 year younger than JT
There's
Miller.
no point.
So there's
It's
no
more of that situation.
yeah.
Do you have a question? I thought you had a question that you asked me earlier.
Oh yeah, so it was like which number 1 pick would be better? Would it be Connor Bedard or Victor Wembanyama? I genuinely don't know.
It's tough because who will have a better rookie year?
Who will have the better rookie year?
So here's the way I'm gonna look at this. How are the team around them gonna be filled up? Because Bedard could go crazy, but so can Wembanyama. The difference is Bedard doesn't play like 60 minutes. He's probably gonna barely play 20, right?
Yeah.
Wembanyama could arguably still play like 35 minutes a game. Arguably, we don't know what the situation is gonna be there, right? And who has the potential winning rookie of the year? Both of them obviously do. I don't know. I don't know who's on that Chicago team to help him.
It's hard. Like
Wembanyama could dominate a game by himself because that's how
Yeah.
NBA works.
yeah, NBA you could just take over, right?
Yeah,
But you could also do that for hockey,
but how many spurts?
like
Like,
McDavid
are you gonna
style.
come on but are we really projecting Bedard to be McDavid in his rookie year? And we've seen rookie year McDavid go off. Don't get
Thing
me
is
wrong.
this, like, I think Bedard will get goals, but I don't know if he's gonna get assists.
Yeah, because his team's not gonna be good
Yeah,
unless they partner him for
Unless-
example, like Zach Benson, who I
yeah, right.
But yeah,
So we don't know if the goal scorer is gonna really be impactful. Can Wembanyama could obviously impact his game defensively as well, right?
so again, we've
Because
never
he's
seen
so
a
big.
7'5" guy.
Yeah,
what
like
able
he's
to do.
obviously rim protecting is gonna be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm leaning. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like I genuinely do not
I'm
know.
leaning towards Wembanyama just because of the takeover factor. Because he's on the court longer, that could help the team win.
I don't know. I just like my gut feeling is telling me Bedard because
They're
Bedard.
both gonna have pressure for sure,
Yeah,
right?
but Bedard has a
Bedard
good
might
shot.
Bedard might just choke
Bed-
on purpose because of
Yeah.
Chicago.
Bedard's shot is just like so good.
But then his speed isn't like what McDavid's speed was. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
but then Bedard could still create, right? It's not like Bedard is like a Ovechkin where he just has a shot.
Keep in mind, both of them are coming into the league playing as men now, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like someone.
Wembanyama's been playing with men.
That's the thing. That's where I'm leaning.
That
towards
yeah.
it. Okay, so then I have a follow up question. Who are you picking if you have? to?
I'm going with Bedard. I just feel like he'll be able to.
How
He'll be able to salvage
How much
something.
of that is a North Vancouver factor? Local kid.
I don't know because
I'm hoping he does well. I
think
hope Chicago shits it because it's
almost-
Chicago.
Yeah, no,
But I
obviously.
hope he goes off.
Yeah, obviously, but I think Chicago like has some. Don't they have Seth Jones?
Yeah, but he
Yeah, I
hasn't
know,
done
but
well.
I'm saying like, don't they have certain pieces?
What? Like who?
I don't know,
Really?
they
They traded
traded.
away.
I generally
Max
don't know.
Domi.
I generally don't
Okay,
know,
so
know
okay,
who's
now
in
I'm gonna
Chicago.
so you give me. That's just the question I was gonna ask
Okay,
you.
but okay, no. Here's my thing. I don't
Yeah.
know who's in Chicago. That gives Connor Bedard more opportunity to like do stuff.
Kidding.
Not Jason Dickinson. Dickinson's not gonna do anything.
Okay, fine. Okay, this is my
He-
question.
That's my point.
No, this is my question to you because I was gonna ask you this, but you kind of
Yeah.
alluded to it. These two guys are in their rookie contract. Sorry, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
How, if you're Chicago Blackhawks and if you're the San Antonio Spurs, and it might be easier with the Spurs because their cap situations in the NBA are easier than the NHL. How much should you just build around them right now because they're they're generational?
Like just try to.
Just
But
build they're on the rookie contract. It's kind of like rookie QB situation. Like
Yeah.
build around them, that fill out every possible way for the next 3-4 years. Just build the team around them, and they could probably take you to the playoffs. Let's just say
It's
like Austin Matthews did that in his
it's
first
easier
year.
for the Spurs.
Obviously, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's easier for
Yeah.
the Spurs to do it, but I'm saying should Chicago do the same thing?
I think Chicago's too far out. There's no way.
So you're saying no
You're
matter what, San
really-
Antonio should take that opportunity. They already have NBA pieces in Keldon Johnson. Right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Wembanyama's be an attraction now.
yeah.
Like especially if he balls out in his rookie year.
No, but I'm saying like should they?
I don't think Chicago
Like Tim
should do
Duncan
it.
won in his first year. Now it helps when you have David Robinson.
Yeah, but
Right.
I don't think Chicago should do it because I think Chicago's really like. I think San Antonio has the better squad.
Okay, I'm gonna
That
name you
Chicago
Chicago
got them.
roster right now.
Yeah.
Peter Mrazek, Alex Stalock, you know those guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Andreas England, Seth Jones, Caleb Jones, Wyatt Kaiser, Ian Mitchell, Connor Murphy, Jared Tamorty. This is the current roster. Nikita
Yeah.
Zaitsev. Outside of Nikita Zaitsev, have you heard of any of the other guys? Really?
Not
Out
really.
of- and Seth
I'll
Jones.
be honest. I do not. I don't know who's in Chicago.
Joey Anderson, Andreas Anthoniasu, who got re-signed. Anders Boyerk, Colin Blackwell, Jason Dickinson, outside of him. Mackenzie Entwistle, Cole Gutman, Reese Johnson, Tyler Johnson, I heard of, obviously. Jajar Kara, shout out Siri Punjabi boy. Boris Katchuk, Philip Karashev, Tyler Radish, Jonathan Taze, who's bought out now, or not coming back, and Austin Wagner.
Yeah, like I don't.
Do you see, like, to your point, that's why I'm picking Wembanyama.
Yeah, no, but like being.
But okay, like
You're gonna have more opportunity. Like Wembanyama, there's people gonna help Wembanyama, so Wembanyama could take a step back, right?
True, but like Wembanyama could also be LeBron more and take over.
Yeah, I know, but we don't know about that.
Yeah.
The thing with Connor Bedard, it's a must for him, more of a must for him than it is Wembanyama.
With how good Anaheim's young core is, and again, keep in mind, Rookie of the Year in the NHL could be guys coming up, like how PD came up.
Yeah.
So we don't know who's coming up that will kill it, right? And any that's playing overseas right now or in college.
But that doesn't affect how good you are the rookie year.
No, I'm just saying that they're also going to be rookies aren't in this draft class.
Yeah.
We're just saying Bedard. My question to you is if Adam Fantilli plays and Anaheim propels to the playoffs somehow, wildcard team, right? And Adam Fantilli has a great year, maybe Bedard had put up slightly better numbers. Who are you giving Rookie of the Year to?
I don't know.
I value playoffs, and if Fantilli,
but do you expect?
But no, what I'm saying is I value playoffs a little bit more, and that if Fantilli's a factor.
Yeah, but like
I
don't think Rookie of the Year should.
It's not. I agree with you on
that. Yeah,
but
like,
I agree with you.
You shouldn't be a value if you could take your team to a playoffs.
Okay, but so that's why people are saying when Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year, what big factor is he helped his team get to the playoffs. But people are saying Kate Cunningham should have won it because it was Kate Cunningham but better numbers. Or Evan Mobley.
Obviously, I'm gonna show bias to Scotty.
That's my point here.
Yeah, but this is legit my team. So obviously,
you're biased. You admit
I'm legit biased.
I'm just saying from the outside looking in, I value the reason why I gave Scotty Rookie of the Year. He was a big factor of why Raptors made the playoffs that year. Right? Evan Mobley was a big factor, but there was a 7th seed and Kate Cunningham was in the playoffs. I 100% agree with you that you don't expect a rookie to carry their team to the playoffs, but if Fantilli does that and he's a big factor for it, I'm not saying he's like. Because you're going to have Troy Terry and all these guys, Trevor Zegras there as well. So I'm not saying that. You have to take that into account, especially if they're like a top 3 seed in the division. And he's a big factor. Like he dropped like 30, 40 goals in his rookie year.
Yeah.
Again, I'm saying this is not happening. I don't think that will happen. I still think Bedard will have the better year. But I'm just saying hypothetical situation.
I don't know who to give it to. I'll be honest with you. It's tough.
We'll obviously
because
to see the
obviously the.
Like if Chicago's
Bedard,
dead last.
if Bedard scores 30, 40 goals.
Yeah.
And Fantilli scores 30 or 40 goals, whatever, right? If they had the same points, that just shows that Fantilli has the better team.